So this is going to be a bit of a shorter video than normal just because I'm getting ready to do a bunch of stuff and so time is short. So let's get right into it. I was watching an episode of, well, actually the last episode of Picard, and they're flying around Enterprise D like a fighter. Very, very cool. I hope that doesn't become a trend. Anyway, there's a scene in that where Brent Spiner starts fiddling with the buttons with the touchscreen on the Enterprise D's helm. And it just made me realize, God, there's a lot of touchscreens in Trek. And I'm somebody who really doesn't enjoy touchscreens too much. I much prefer a keyboard. Let's see if this key does something. I much enjoy that kind of like, you go to do something, you press a button down, you get a click, you get something you can feel go down. I find that works better. I've tried typing on other, on touch screens, and I really don't like it. I've tried adjusting power levels and things like that, sliders, and it's not as good as an actual tactile surface. And I also know that in some applications, having a touch screen versus an actual button or lever or dial can actually be problematic because it can be difficult to judge where it is at a glance and how that works, and there are complications to it. So I was watching, I had this realization in the middle of Picard, which of course I was rewatching it, which makes me realizing there's a lot of touch screens, a little less super nerd, I think. And I just kind of I developed something of a thought or a theory. Now, there's not really that much to the theory. Basically, it's that Star Trek has holograms. Holograms are very popular. And that you should be able to have a sort of almost replicate a tactile sense. Because realistically, if you have a good indicator green for that system is on and functioning normally, or you can design things so that you can tell what everything is at a glance. That's not that big a deal. And it's very unlikely that you're going to have a super low light condition on a modern starship of the 24th century. And even if you do, the panels are lit up. So that's not that big an issue. You should be able to tell all of that at a glance. What's the shields at? Worf looks over and sees in the right area that they're at 50%. Kind of deal. But that kind of tactile feeling, I think you could do that, not necessarily with a haptic motor like you would find on a phone today or a console controller, but sort of actually giving some resistance above the touchscreen for your fingers to feel. That maybe you could change the air pressure in that area or make it feel like you're moving through something with some resistance so that you'd be able to tell exactly what button you pushed. Maybe some areas have different feelings, that kind of thing. And that would make it a little bit better because especially with the touchscreen, it can be hard to, without looking at something, to put your fingers in the right area because you don't have something to orientate them to. But if you have a basically invisible hologram on top, that would be fine because you would be able to orientate where you are. You would be able to put your finger down like on a keyboard. You have the space bar, and a lot of people when they blind type, I do, I don't know about a lot of people, but they will have a finger on the space bar, usually my thumb, and I'll use that to sort of orientate my fingers through just muscle memory where everything else is. So maybe something in the 24th century is like that, where there's basically different feels to different buttons that would let your fingers know what you're doing. Kind of a vague idea. It's kind of an out there theory. There's nothing that proves it in Star Trek, but there's also nothing that disproves it. So this was just my kind of crazy theory the other day, because it would make sense that for a universe where touchscreens are prominent, touchscreens have notable issues. that there would be workarounds, and because you have such high-level technology, that would not be that big a deal to have a sort of actual physical feeling when you put your finger down, in addition to, the button click doop, 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 noises. And that, again, a little bit short on time today because I've got other stuff going on. This video is being recorded the day before, so as you see this, I'll be working for a week, and then after that I have a week of other things to do where I'll be very, very busy. So, this is kind of a, what can I talk about without a great deal of research or writing? Hey, I had that thought the other day, let's explore that. And, this video is also a little less scripted, I'm talking a little bit quicker. Just bear with me. Really do. And Discovery, for all of its many, many faults, does actually show kind of a gel sensor interface thing appearing in one episode that I thought was kind of cool. There's that going on, I suppose, that I don't know if that attaches anything to my feeling, but whenever I can, I like to bring up a positive in Discovery because there's not that many. So I like to point out the things that I do enjoy about the show. Anyway, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, like it, leave a comment about what you think about my theory, if it's totally bonkers, or let me know if you actually prefer a touchscreen to an actual physical button. Kind of thing, do let me know. Aside from that, I have a Patreon where you can get videos a day early. That's kind of a cool perk. Feel free to join that. It's like $1 and you can get videos a day early. If that's something that interests you, go for it. Down below in the description. And really, I think that's it. I don't think I can go on anymore. Just talking, so see everybody later.